guys, welcome. This is a general reading for the collective of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Happy birthday to our May babies, to our Taurus May babies. Yeah, it's your birthday. And I wish you all the best on your next trek around the sun. We are in Taurus season till the 19th, 20th. We'll be moving into Gemini season. So this first half of May is Taurus ruled, which means it's Venus ruled. And so I'm pulling from the Divine Feminine Oracle. So let's take a look at what the messages are for you today. Okay, if you missed it, not too late. I did the May 2025 Love Tarot Energy Update for the month. And that's a reading where I take the month week by week, and that's the oracle spread where it's your person, you, and the relationship, and then week by week. And the third part of it is the astrology for the month, and it kind of breaks down week by week as well. So that's good for the whole month, so you can always go back and check in with it. So if you missed it, go check it out. Yes. That is a subscriber fave, so let's see. Make sure I only have one card here. Yes. Ooh, Freya, the goddess of discernment. She's also the goddess of war, Freya. So it's interesting that she comes in here as the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. So I have seen her come through. Look at the lighting, how she's kind of on fire there. But I know with the lighting, it's tough to see. I'm kind of tilting it so you can see. Yes, even her dress, her garb is all on flame, you know, a flaming color, and she's in front of the sun. But in this deck, she's coming through very discerning, right? I spend my time wisely. I'm only saying yes when it's a holy hell yes. But in most mythology, Freya is the goddess of war. So I'm just saying. And she looks like she can be pretty fiery. So be discerning, Taurus, be discerning. This is your time for discernment. Don't say yes to everything. Be discerning about how you spend your time, because this is your time. We are on your time right now, especially those of you who are Taurus suns. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead and jump in with this spread. It's a different spread, so I'll walk you through it. It's a little bit of a hybrid. I am pulling your energy. And remember, it can come through reversed, so you'll kind of be on reserve till you see the other energies. And as always, it's a general reading, not a private reading, so take it as it speaks to you. You're coming in with that energy of the Chariot, which is usually about making progress, moving forward. What's crossing you is there may be a challenge around your motivation. You may be lacking some inspiration, or you may not feel that the time is right to make a move. But this is usually a gift from Spirit of inspired passion. And we have to take that ace and run with it. So if you're crossed by that, it may be a difficult time for you to, or you may just not be feeling the inspiration. Okay. Ooh, your person coming in with the King of Cups. That's very much, it can be about their emotional availability, lack thereof, or deep feelings that are sort of not easily expressed. What's crossing them? Their fears. All right, so that is the storyline. It makes sense to me because if you're getting that all systems go, but you're struggling to kind of launch, it may be because the signals that you're reading from this person are that there's a question around their emotional availability. I'm here to tell you that it's not that they're not emotionally available, it's that they're operating from some measure of fear or egoic resistance. Something like that is holding them back. It's not the love, it's not the lack of love, it's that the love is intense. And sometimes people get spooked by that. All right? The connection, yeah, mixed messages, some emotional overwhelm, confusion on both sides. The divine message here, we have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Wands, I'm sorry, Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, yes, it is an empowering energy. It is about, taking no prisoners. Queen of Wands, very much leadership energy. There may be an issue here where there's some disempowerment, so I'll wait for the clarifiers to see the fullness of the message and the opportunity. I saw this for Sagittarius as well, I think. The World card, what we're talking about is cycles, right? It's Saturn. What have we learned? Can we close out a cycle? Do we have enough closure? Have we learned what we came to learn before we have a new beginning? So the World card to me is endings and new beginnings. And we have to figure out where we are in the cycle. Are we closing something out that's been difficult and challenging? Enough so that we, have the opportunity for a new cycle to begin. And it seems to me like you might be right at that point where you're ready to move forward, but you're getting a crossed signal here that says, well, maybe not so fast. And so we've got the mixed messages. Are we ready? Nope. Hold up. Okay. So we've got to focus on how do we close out this challenging cycle so that we can move ahead. That's where we're going for now. All right, in the extended, we're going to see things through the eyes of the King of Cups. I will also show you how to recognize whether you're dealing with them in their more higher vibration or their lower vibration. It may seem like it's easy to tell, but not always. So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at their hidden energy, something they might not want you to see, what they do want you to see or know. Also how they're seeing you, thinking about you, feeling about you, and their intentions. So we're going to take a deeper dive through this King of Cups point of view. So let's jump in for the clarifiers. Chariot and the Ace of Wands. Star. Ace of Swords. Wow. There's our Queen of Wands. You're coming through with positivity. That's what's interesting to me. Even though that Ace of Wands, imagine it horizontal, right? I'm holding it up so you can see it, but it's really what's crossing you. So it's not necessarily that you don't have motivation. It's that something's telling you that now is not the time to move forward. Now is not the time, for this connection to start to, move forward at a fast pace. But you haven't lost hope yet. With the Ace of Swords, you're getting some messages. You're getting some insights here. And that Queen of Wands from the bottom of the deck is an internal reference. So that means it's in your unconscious reference at this moment. It's not something that you're using in a conscious way. So that means that you're coming from a strong position. You're feeling kind of empowered here, which is good. because it's like, all right, okay, maybe this is a sign, almost as if this hesitation is a sign, and you're kind of allowing it to guide you. You're feeling a little guided right now. You don't know what the holdup is maybe, but you're seeing it as a sign. You're getting some insights. You're getting a little bit that Ace of Swords, and again, another gift from Spirit, like, all right, I'm trying to see this clearly. It's not a stop for good, but it's, you know, like, don't pass go. We're kind of, it's not necessarily a holding pattern, but we're not off to the races yet. So you're sort of allowing this situation to guide you, and on some unconscious level, it hasn't yet toppled your sense of personal power. You're still Freya, okay? I'm still seeing this, you know, you're kind of still feeling your power. And you're being discerning. I like that. You're kind of like, all right, now's not the time to go full speed ahead. Got it. All right. You may not know why, though, because there's some confusion wrapped around it. So now we're looking at this person that you're dealing with, King of Cups, crossed by that Devil energy. Two of Cups, Page of Swords, Three of Pentacles. I'm just feeling like this person gets caught the closer they get in matters of the heart. Now they're getting closer to you. They feel bonded. They're, you know, when we talk about deep feelings of partnership, soulmate, we've got the Three of Pentacles in their unconscious awareness, which is we're now moving into something where we're building a foundation, where we're getting more, I'm being called upon to co-create something that's more meaningful. And with that Page of Swords, it's not just about their curiosity. They are sort of keeping an eye on you and how you're behaving, and how, you know, we're talking about the relationship and where it's headed and how it's evolving, and questions and how words are used, and oh, well, we're building a foundation and we're invested in this, and are we on the same page about where this is headed, and we're making progress and we're moving forward. And, you know, it's just when somebody starts to hear things differently and their feelings are growing deeper, and then all of a sudden this little bugger rears its ugly head and says, whoa, hold on here. You can't have nice things. What do you think you're doing? You know, it's just an egoic response. It's not like it's going to topple everything. It's just crossing this person. It's coming through as a challenge to what's evolving here. And so, and makes perfect sense to me. It's not fun for you, but it's pretty normal. So it feels to me like this person is having that kind of a response, that that devil energy comes in to sort of pull back on the reins of that chariot and almost control the pace. And it does breed a lot of confusion, mixed messages. You think, oh, we're moving forward, everything's good, we're on the same page, and then you don't, and then we have a failure to launch, hence the Ace of Wands in the challenge position. Maybe we don't have, maybe we're not moving forward. So Seven of Cups, Hermit, Death card, Seven of Swords. Yeah, it's like, I want to call out, we have a runner. You know what I mean? It's like this person, despite the depth of their feelings for you and their recognition of the bond here, And all of a sudden they're listening for certain words and certain cues that become then triggers. And the trigger sends them into some kind of maybe, a retreat, right? They kind of pull into themselves. For some of you, they may go off the grid totally. The death card to me is just representational of things that have to be let go of, meaning this person can't continue to have this kind of a response where they get spooked and where they run and they avoid and they sort of, there's subterfuge and they don't answer questions directly and there's avoidance and there's mixed messages and there's a lot of emotional highs and lows. So what I'm seeing in the connection is it's a bit of a growth spurt, a personal growth spurt that requires change if we're going to have some transformation. So I feel it's an uncomfortable time. Was talking to someone close to me and, was saying, well, our relationship is changing because we're getting older now and, we have to keep in touch with each other more regularly than we used to. And, you may think you have this doctor's appointment and that it's simple and routine, but then there's a problem and I don't hear from you for 2 weeks and I think you're mad at me. And, I come to find out a routine procedure went terribly wrong. And, I need you to call me if you're having a procedure. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like it's a growth spurt. And if we have avoidance and we have I don't want to, it's too complicated and it's messy and it's emotional and I'm now embarrassed and it's like, no, you can't just go off the grid. You have to grow now and there's change and things are transforming. That's what I'm seeing here for the connection, is growth inside of a connection can be messy and it can be confusing. And sometimes people want to avoid that, and on both sides, right? Because this is happening behind the scenes. So, you don't want to kind of poke the bear and they don't really want to deal with it. And, if we're retreating, if one's retreating, and we need the change, we need the growth. So some things kind of gotta go. Some things have to fall off. Some things have to die off so we can have the change and the growth and the transformation. But in the midst of it, it's messy. And that is literally a true story that just happened. Yeah. And for anybody who remembers Will and Grace, and when Grace got married, and Will and Grace were now having difficulties kind of being on the same page, and they weren't winning their little charades games as often, and they were standing out in the hall trying to figure out if they lost their mojo. And Grace says to Will, because he had gone off of cheese and he didn't tell her about it, and her big final wrap up of the conversation was, you gotta tell me if you go off cheese. And that was what I said to my friend. You gotta tell me if you go off cheese. We're at that point of the relationship. So that is what I'm trying to say is, you're at this point and this person kind of has to figure it out, and you all have to sort of get through this difficult, uncomfortable thing so you can close out this difficult part of the cycle and have a new beginning. That's where you're headed. Sorry for editorializing. All right, so your divine message here is the Queen of Wands. Maybe for the Queen of Wands. Oh, Five of Wands. Queen of Cups. All right, I see the message. Queen of Pentacles. So it looks like whoever you are over here, it is a message to you, for you, to support you. It's kind of saying we might want to adopt a softer touch. We've got love and passion, but there's some tension here, right? We've got some drama. And when we see the Five of Wands, it can be an outside source, right? There can be some interference. For some of you, that might be the case. We can have something that's kind of coming between you that might be causing some tension, some argumentativeness, especially coming with that Queen of Wands, who can be quite demanding. So it's almost like the divine message is, maybe try coming from your softer side, coming from a little bit more compassion. And also, Queen of Pentacles from the bottom of the deck is almost as if to say, you're the rock. You're the rock. So there has to be some aspect of the one who holds it together. And the Queen of Pentacles is a feminine archetype of a life partner. She also is the one in tarot that everyone comes to for solid advice, worldly advice. Okay? So it's almost as if with these three queens being here, and the one card that's sort of in the midst of it all is that Five of Wands, it's almost as if saying, yeah, you're the leader, you're the one that's kind of leading, but you gotta be the rock, you gotta kind of be consistent, come from a softer approach, compassion. She's the Queen of Cups, is the empath of the tarot. So come from that side of yourself, and as you're operating from leadership, also know that the Queen of Wands has a tendency to run hot. So you want to not fan the flames. You want to douse the flames and then be that solid support in real time. Okay, because whoever this is not necessarily running from their feelings, but avoiding them, avoiding where things are headed next. Okay, because they're already deep in the feels of this connection. They're aware of the power of it. And I don't think they're running away. I think they're just like, you know, they're not wanting to really engage with how fast and furious things are moving. So let's see the world as the opportunity. Queen of Swords, Judgment, and Justice. Well, the Queen of Swords and Justice are both Libra energies, which is nice and balanced. It's more diplomatic. It's more about harmony. And yeah, well, let's, you know, reach an even keel. Let's reach something where we both feel heard, validated, you know, where none of us feel like our back's against the wall. We can calm the emotional overwhelm. And in smack in the middle of this is Judgment, which is an emphasis here, I think, on like forgiveness, but not necessarily because anything's been done wrong, but just sort of to kind of smooth out the tension, sort of more of an effort toward you know, it's not wrong to feel the way you feel. It's not wrong to feel like this is getting too intense for you. It's not wrong that you have a pattern of, you know, getting overwhelmed. Almost like to normalize. You know, Judgment is almost coming through to say, I'm not judging you. You're not being judged here, because the world is about, how Saturn is not just the great teacher. Saturn is the Lord of karma. And if somebody feels, and Saturn rules the devil, and if somebody feels that they're going to be punished, right, and that they can't have nice things, that if it's been imprinted on them somehow, that if they move too far too fast, they're going to get bitch slapped back into reality, and somebody's going to pull the rug out of them, and they're going to end up bleeding out. Okay? If that's where this person is going, and that's why they're like backpedaling and they're either going MIA or they're running away from dealing with things head on for whatever reason, and it probably has less to do with you than you might think. It's probably from something from that they've observed, maybe another relationship, or even as far back as childhood. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So judgment comes in as the archangel calls the sinners up out of their grave to absolve them, to say, if you want another chance at life, at love, at happiness, come on up. Let me know. All is forgiven. So it's almost like a response to that devil energy. And just so you know, judgment is Pluto, Lord of the underworld. Ooh. But the planet of transformation. So we go right back to the death card, which is about growth, change, and, wait for it, transformation, because Pluto rules the death card. So you see how we kind of come full circle here. So I feel like the opportunity is all connected to this person who is challenged by something within them that they carry around. Angel, devil. And that devil screams in their ear whenever they get close to, this is my person. I really want this. This feels good to me. I'm in love. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. See what I'm saying? So it's not you. It's coming from somewhere else. So that's what I see for now. And I'm going to give you the astrology that showed up here. I am going to take this to the extended so we can look a little deeper into this person. And if you've enjoyed the reading so far and you haven't yet done so, please do subscribe below. That helps me stay on the platform, grow the channel, help more people like you who are looking for ways to navigate their relationships, their sacred relationships, their twin flame relationships, their soulmate bonds, etc. So thank you for that. Also, yeah, we want to kind of see how we can create balance in this connection. So hopefully some of that will come out in the extended as well. Here is your astrology. We've got Cancer in the Chariot. The star is Aquarius. The Queen of Wands came out twice. That's Aries. King of Cups, Scorpio. Devil is Capricorn. Page of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Virgo in the Hermit, Scorpio in the Death card, Queen of Cups is Cancerian energy, Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. As I said, the world is Saturn, Aquarius in Capricorn, Libra in the Queen of Swords and Justice, and Judgment is Pluto, which rules Scorpio. And don't forget the beautiful Freya, goddess of discernment. Spend your time wisely and only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. That's what I have for you. The links to the extended are below. There are 3 options, so you want to click a link and read about it. Option number 2 is just this extended one and done. The other 2 options are for monthly memberships that do auto renew. Just thought I'd let you know that. That's what I have for you. Bye for now.